Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Yeah.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to Run It Back. We are all in our respective homes this week. We got Lou Will, Chandler P. My name's Michelle B. How we doing today, guys?
Pretty good.
Can't complain, bees.
Okay, I love that for you. Weather out here in Los Angeles yesterday was summertime levels of heat. It was amazing. Zero complaints as well. But you guys, we got a brand new segment. I don't know how much longer this segment can last, but we started today. Where in the world?
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff.
I feel like that flight must
It's
have
a
been
long
so long.
flight.
Boogie! Okay, Boogie, talk to us. Where are you? Where are you? What's it like?
Well, first of all, I want to let y'all know how jealous I am. Y'all rubbing that LA sunshine in my face like that. I'm out here in
I got
Mongolia.
storms, Boogie. I got storms. I got nothing.
Oh, man, I'm in Mongolia freezing my ass off right now. We're in the middle of the playoffs. Things are going well. We up 3-1 right now. So, that's a positive.
There we go.
Definitely missing the sunshine, man. I'm missing it big time. Big time.
Yes, yeah, you'll be back. You'll be back soon enough. How are the playoffs, by the way? Like, will we know anyone out there? Like, talk to us.
My young boy Lou Will knows him as well. Jay Scrub, he was my rookie with the Clippers, so he's my teammate out here, and he just put on a great performance tonight. Dropped 23. We both had a pretty decent game today, but that's a pretty known name. Played
Boogie,
against.
What's decent? What's decent for you?
29-14,
Yeah, what were the finals? Like, what kind of points did you score? What were your last points? What did they look like? Did they come in?
It was a game winner. I had a game winner tonight. Not to toot my own horn, but you know how I go. But shout out to Lou Will and Paul Pierce and the guys for getting this engine rolling. We had some good pickup games back in LA. So shout out to the guys, man. Hey, let them know, Lou, I'll be back soon to take over again, man.
I'm gonna make sure they get the message, man.
I love this so much. By the way, bring us back jerseys because they're kind of awesome. I loved them. I loved them.
Absolutely. I mean, how y'all feel about rocking hot pink? Wearing
it right now. Weirdly enough.
Hey, I got some on the way for you guys. Then all good.
Yes.
Boogie, how's the Mongolian beef? I gotta know.
Oh, for the love of all things.
You know what's crazy? They
don't serve it.
I was here last season, and they asked me what did I think about Mongolia, and asked me what my favorite dish was, and I actually said that dumb shit, and it doesn't exist here at all.
Of course it doesn't.
Chinese food doesn't exist in China.
Not the way we know it.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought Mongolian beef was a real dish as well, but obviously it does not exist here at all. Yeah, I thought the same thing. It doesn't exist.
It's just beef, y'all. He's in Mongolia. Pew, 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 pew. Okay, well, since you've been gone, a lot has been happening.
Kelly Clarkson?
Stateside. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, we're going to start with the obvious because Jayson Tatum made the big return on Friday. Had surgery in May, back in March, 15, 12, 7 assists. I don't get it. It makes no sense. 27 minutes is what he played. He did it in like 5 and 6 minute spurts for the record. Boogie, you know what? You had this injury. It was such a moment too in that building. So what do you make of him, coming back this early and really it's just the stat line for his first game?
Well, one, I'm happy for him. I'm excited for him. I know what that journey is like, recovering from such a severe injury. I know how it, has a strain on you mentally, physically, emotionally. So I'm glad to see him back, doing what he loves to do. So that's first off for me. But I think he's right on track. This is about, what I expected with the return. And that's a good thing. Obviously, this isn't what we're used to as far as Jayson Tatum. We're more used to the 25-point games and things of that nature. But that's all coming down the line. He's still finding his rhythm. He's still getting used to, getting comfortable in his body again, getting comfortable in his movements, gaining confidence in his movements. I can remember my first game back, and, I had a rather decent game, but I definitely didn't have the type of responsibility that a Jayson Tatum has with the Celtics. I was surrounded with Hall of Fame talent, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green. So it wasn't as much pressure on me to, put up a huge performance, but I think he's right on track. I'm excited to see, his growth throughout the remainder of his season. And, having a start like this early, I'm sure, Celtic fans, the organization, his teammates, I think everybody's excited to see, where he heads towards the end of the season and his progress towards the end. So I think he's right on track. I love what I saw from him.
You know what, Chandler? He missed his first 6 shots too. So you got to think like the building's like, come on, guys, we got this. It's kind of awesome the way it worked out.
100%. And you knew, look, there's going to be some rust. Like this is a severe injury. And as much as you can practice 5-on-5 and all these different, situations, you can't emulate game situations. You can't emulate playing in an NBA game in that arena packed full of people. So I thought this was unbelievable. The most impressive part to me was the minutes, like 27 and 29 minutes is just ridiculous coming off this injury. I love that they did it in spurts, the 5 to 6 minute kind of rotations. I thought was perfect. And again, I think naturally there's going to be some rust early on, but I don't think you could have asked for a better kind of return after 10 months after tearing that Achilles in that Knicks series to be back this quick to a team that, I got to be honest with you, like he even said it beautifully, like this team gave him hope and encouragement to even be able to get to the situation of how well they've played so far without him. Now you add Jayson Tatum in the mix, even this version of him, which we all know is going to continue to get better and better. It was unbelievable, and it's just happy. Like I'm just super stoked for him that he is back, and talks about how many lonely days and nights and you kind of feel isolated during that rehab process. That's all just a memory now, and he's back on a contending team, and they're a lot better with him. So this was awesome, but just the minutes. I know guys that are coming off meniscus, like barely, like not even close to this, and still struggling in pain, and so this is unbelievable how quick he's bounced back.
Yeah, that was the first game in a long time that I just watched as a fan and as a human, because, as Chandler knows, as Boogie know, like when you come back from these type of injuries, it's a journey, man. Like I tore my ACL and I was out 10 months. I got back on the court in 10 months, and you have moments going through that rehab and going through physical therapy. Like you don't realize that not only are you not going to be the same player, but sometimes you have doubt whether you're even going to play again. Like you go from not walking to crutches to a wheelchair and slowly teaching yourself how to walk again, let alone run, shoot a basketball, cut and dunk and do all of the things that, we were able to see Jayson Tatum do on Friday night. It was just incredible to watch, being a friend of his and being able to see him. You got guys like Dame Lillard and Halliburton that's still out because of an injury like this. So to see him come back so fast and play the way that he was able to play and see that joy in his eyes again, it was amazing to watch, man. And like he said, he cried himself to bed a lot of nights. He doubted himself. So when you get back out there, it makes everything come full circle. It makes it all make sense. So I just watched as a fan and as a friend of his, I was happy to see him back out there.
Yeah, this was a feel good moment for the weekend. Now I'm going to preface this next part, Lou, and you are going to be first, only because J.R. Smith is the one that referred to all of this. I'm not talking about this because talking heads are, because that's silly. However, you knew it was coming. We've already seen the silliness, the Brown, the Tatum. See, I've already made it Bratum and Trown. Like I feel like I just make the names combined. But J.R. Smith is the one that came out and said, everyone knows that this is Jaylen Brown's team. All the players think that, which that's the first time I actually heard a player really sort of put their name on that sentiment. Are we the only ones like that make it Tatum's team? I'm a little confused.
I'm not. Listen, it don't matter. This is a storyline that's so old and played out for this particular team. It doesn't matter. They are a collective. Listen, Jaylen Brown is going to get as far as Jaylen Brown can get a team. Jayson Tatum is going to get a team as far as that Jayson Tatum can get a team. But together, they're stronger, and we both know that, and I'm sure that they know that. So it doesn't matter listen, it's a make-believe title. Both of these guys get paid the maximum amount of money that they can possibly get paid. Both of these guys are going to get every opportunity they can individually to win basketball games on different nights. I know we'll get into it, but last night, if you look at it, Tatum had 16 shots. Brown has 17 shots. Other than that, what does this even matter? What does it matter? It's a make-believe title. So whoever wants it to be Jayson Tatum's team, it can be Jayson Tatum's team. Whoever wants it to be JB's team, it can be JB's team. I think it's an imaginary title, and it really doesn't matter as far as this group is concerned. They both have shown how great they are as individuals. Collectively, they've shown you what they can do as a team, and that's win championships. So if I'm anybody around the league, I don't care who team that you touted to be. I'm worried that Jayson Tatum is back in his lineup and has had double digits in scoring and almost rebounding in both of the games that he's played in already. He makes them a way better basketball team. Obviously, Jaylen Brown and the rest of the guys, they've done everything that they could to keep them in a competitive position. And Jaylen Brown has been rewarded for that by being in MVP conversations and making Boston a team that you should fear coming out of the East. That's really going to put pressure on being able to come out of the East at the top of the standings outside of Detroit's and the New York's and all of that. I feel with Jayson Tatum back in the lineup, that makes them a much better contender. I think that's what's important. Not who cares who's the guy that's going to come out last doing starting lineups, who's going to do the interviews. They're going to be stars in their own respective rights. This whole storyline is played to me. I don't care who team it is.
Yeah,
Chandler.
I it's just an unnecessary headline. Like Lou just said, who really cares? Like, these are both fantastic, versatile two-way players that have had hella careers. Now, right now, at this point of the season, what Jaylen Brown has been able to do and put himself in that All-NBA first team talk and MVP conversations, of course, he's been the most consistent guy on that team this year. Jayson Tatum has been rehabbing, getting back to this position that he's in now. So it's just so irrelevant, and it's just such outside noise that I feel like media and people try and stir the pot with that really doesn't matter. And I think they're mature enough. I think they're old enough to know that. And it's always kind of been a thing with these two guys, especially when Jay Kidd brought it up, in that series in the finals against the Mavs. But it really doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. I don't think either of them care about it. I don't think either of them are thinking about it. Jayson Tatum is trying to continue to get back to where he was. And I think, like Lou said, both of them together are deadly. And both of them, I think Jayson Tatum makes Jaylen Brown better, and Jaylen Brown makes Jayson Tatum better. And the game will come easier for both of them when they're both on the floor together, because they can't scout and guard both of them. And the scouting report's going to be different when you put a Jayson Tatum. So now, when Jaylen Brown has a couple bad games and Jayson Tatum, I think there's going to be a whole more headlines. It's going to be something that they're definitely going to have to deal with. But I think they're grown and mature enough to realize that this is just noise and it doesn't matter at all. And they're both Hall of Fame type players.
Yeah.
Boom.
I think you hit it right there on the head. These are two Hall of Fame talents, and that's all that matters. Lou also said it. These are two max players on this team. That's all that matters. It's both of their team. It's definitely a played out narrative. It's very unnecessary. And I think the only people that really talk about it is everyone outside of that organization. I think they value them both equally. Is there a difference in personalities? I could say yes. I think it's more of a fire and ice type of, situation, which actually complements each other at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
It works. You might have a guy that's a little more outspoken than the other. That doesn't mean,
that's great.
That means, when I think about their situation, I think about, the combination of me and Anthony Davis when we were in New Orleans. It was never, and obviously we didn't have the same type of success, but it was a few rumblings that went around about, who was the better player, whose team it was, whatever. We were both guys on max contracts. We complimented each other well, and those were conversations that were never held between us. So I think that's the same type situation when it comes to this, Tatum and Brown situation. I do think it's very played out, but obviously there's a difference in personalities, and that's the only angle I can really see when it comes to this dynamic. So I think that's a issue for everyone else except the guys in that locker room and in that organization. I think they
it's people making it an issue. This guy's played 2 games and we already doing this.
I feel like we need to be more creative as a business. It's boring. It's so boring. Like, it's rage bait. At this point, it's rage bait, and I don't even care what people have to say about it anymore. That's how much I don't care about this topic.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
It's stupid at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's a two-headed snake. Take it for what it is. If you're a fan of one over the other, then maybe that's how you define the team.
I'm yet to see either one of these guys get doubled in a game, and that's because the other person is on the floor.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have if you're Boston, by the way. Speaking of,
a great problem.
It's kind of terrifying. And here they come, by the way. Don't look now, because if you look at the standings, Detroit's not doing well and Boston's very, very much back. Beating the Cavs yesterday. Didn't seem to be too hard either. 109-98. And the two-headed snake is 23-9-8 for Brown, 20 in 27 minutes for Tatum. Donovan Mitchell finishes with 30 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. You didn't have any Jared Allen, no Vucevic for the Celtics. Evan Mobley had 24. But since the Harden trade, the Cavs had been a really hot topic, and rightfully so, in the East. The fact that Boston, Boogie, was able to beat them pretty easily, and both Harden and Donovan Mitchell were on the floor. What does that tell you about who Boston is in relation to the Eastern Conference?
I spoke on it earlier. I felt like and at the time it was an if. Obviously, it happened. I felt like when Tatum returned to this team, they were going to elevate. Even him at 70%, I think the Celtics were going to be an even better team than they were already showing this season. So, this isn't a surprise for me. The only surprise out of the whole situation is that this kid came back in 10 months, which is unbelievable. So this isn't a surprise. I always felt if he was to return, they would be, one of the top teams in the East. I do think, as of right now, the top 3 teams in the East are the guys we mentioned: the Celtics, the Pistons, and the Cavs. I think those are the 3 best teams in the East right now. And, may the best man win. Obviously, the Cavs got better with the James Harden trade. They're playing unbelievable basketball. He was a great complementary piece to, what they already had going on. I think he increased Jared Allen's ability on the floor. Obviously, the same thing with Evan Mobley. And Donovan Mitchell's going to continue to be who he's been throughout this entire season. They now have that veteran presence as a ball handler that can create for others and also hit big shots and also take that pressure off of Donovan Mitchell. So I think the East is going to be interesting, towards that second and conference finals type situation. I think it's going to get really, really interesting. And, like I said, I think these are the top 3 teams in the East.
Chandler, let me ask you a question, CP, and Boogie as well. When you look at the New York Knicks and you look at Detroit and you look at the Cavs and you look at Boston and you ask all of these teams, do you think you can win a championship this year? I think the Boston Celtics are the only team that's going to say, without a doubt, hell yeah, we think we can win a championship. Everybody else is going to say, well, we got the pieces, we got enough talent, we'll have to see. I think Boston is the only team right now that'll tell you, hell yeah, without a doubt, we think we can win a championship. That's what we're talking about with their personalities. Like with JB and Jayson Tatum, they've already seen it. They know what it looks like to get there. They know what it takes to get to the mountaintop. All of these other teams, we like them. We think they're talented. We think they've been holding it down. But if we ask straight up, do you think you can win a championship this year? I think out of all 4 of those teams, the Boston Celtics are going to be the only team with the personality and the gall enough to go out and say, yeah, we think we can win it all. And that's what I love about the personality. So it doesn't matter whose team it is. It's all about confidence. And when you have each other on the team, I think they know that now, with Jayson Tatum back in the lineup, we felt really good about our chances and how we were playing before then. Like, we were talking about him coming off the bench and being on minutes restriction. He came back and there was none of that. They are playing him in 5 or 6 minute spurts, but he has no limitations out on the floor. He can do whatever he wants to as a team. He's starting as well. Now we're looking at the team of the old that lost in the second round that still might have a chip on their shoulders and are going to go out and try to prove that they should be back at the top of the East.
Yeah, and the Celtics, listen, like you said, they've been there before, right? They know what it takes. They are fearless. They are confident. And now they're getting Jayson Tatum back. And all everyone wants to talk about is Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right? But you know how much easier that's making the game now for Pritchard, for Kada, for Vucevic. Like, they're going to get so many more open looks and they're going to get so many more opportunities just because the defense now has got to focus on those 2 all-NBA type players, to where these other guys now, Derek White's, like, he's had a great year. He's going to continue to even get more opportunity because, again, how do you scout all these guys? So when you bring Jayson Tatum back, even at this level on little minute restrictions, they're going to continue to grow. He's going to continue to get better. And we're going to start to see this team and what they look like when they're full. And I think the surprise factor is gone. I think early on they kind of snuck up on teams. They surprised teams. They were so depleted and they moved so many pieces away. No one expected them to be this good. now there's going to be no surprise, right? Now they know they're good. I think they're tied for the favorite to go to the finals or get out of the East. Like, they are a legit contender. And I do agree with Lou's comment. Like, they're confident. Like, we've seen the Pistons have kind of up and down, inconsistent, who's going to be that second guy in the playoffs, right? I think we've learned that New York is almost even a level below, these top three teams, and the way how they can just kind of go on these routes and go on these dry spells and just look like a completely different team. I think it's Detroit, Cleveland, who's really talented and got better at the deadline, and the Boston Celtics. And again, the Eastern Conference is a lot better than we thought, but this team is for real, and this team is much better with Jayson Tatum in the lineup, and I think we're going to start seeing them really at full strength and peak here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they can go ahead and hunt down that number 1 seed right now, which would be unbelievable as much of a turnover they've had.
Yep.
Like, I would not be surprised at all.
They could do it. If Detroit keeps losing at this rate, they've lost 4 in a row, then this is going to be very interesting. By the way, get ready to hear from New York Knicks fans today, guys. When they start posting these bad boys on social media, they will be very loud in the mentions. Kenny Atkinson said that Derek White is a top 5 player in the league, Lou. In the league. What do you make of that? Top 5. Yeah, I thought it was a typo myself.
Basketball is subjective. I can't tell Kenny Atkinson how he feels.
He doesn't mean that, though. He doesn't mean
that. Basketball is subjective. Hey, who am I to tell Kenny Atkinson what he thinks? I don't agree.
I'll tell him.
I don't agree, but I can't tell Kenny. Kenny making a play for free agency. You gonna get me. That's
I like that.
Kenny making a play for free agency. You're not gonna pull wool over my eyes. You ain't gonna get me. I see what's going on. So him saying that, well played, Kenny, but we don't agree with you. You need more people.
Yeah. And I love Derek White. Like,
same.
Absolutely.
Top 5.
Man.
5.
Stop.
Look, I'm not mad at him for, trying to find the best way to compliment this guy. I do think Derek White is a top 5 role player in the NBA. I'll go out on a that. I'll put him in the categories of the Drew Holidays, of the league. So I do think he's a top 5 complimentary piece in this league. I think he has a lot of value wherever he goes. I think he's one of those winning players that every team wants. So I understand what Kenny Atkinson is trying to say, but he definitely overstepped a bit. Trying to say he's a. We're talking about the NBA.
We all tiptoeing around it because we all like Derek White, but that was
I love Derek White. I would love him to be. I would.
So. Yeah.
I think everybody wants that type of player on their team, but to say he's a top 5 player in the NBA, this NBA, no.
He's the third best player. He's the 3rd best player on his team. Like, what are we doing?
So they're still math then.
Yeah, Kenny.
So only 2 more can be on the list. That makes sense to me. That totally makes sense. Come on. Role player I like. Maybe that's what he meant and just didn't say it. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, old pal, Bobby Portis is back.
Yes, sir.
There he is.
Running back, run it up, running back.
You ain't built like me, you ain't cut like this. Bobby Portis, I look good on the top like this.
Hey, that's Bobby being Bobby right now.
Talk like this, yeah.
Bobby being Bobby right now. What's up, Mr. Portis? How you doing this morning?
What's up, guys? Y'all good? Look at Boogie, man. Boogie got something to say, man. He already ready.
Boogie's in Mongolia, Bobby. He is very far away right now.
Wow.
I know. It's weird to me, too.
Maya trying to get like you, Bobby.
Can make a big comeback. By the way, we're going to get to basketball in a second. But the rock, paper, scissors thing that happened between you and a fan went super viral. It was all over the place. You guys tied 14 times. And people are like, what's the big deal? I'll tell you what the big deal is. 1 in 4,782,969. That are the odds of that happening. Did you realize as this was going on, this is nuts?
Nah, I actually was trying to beat the little girl in rock, paper, scissors. I was just so locked in. I think I even dropped the Sharpie marker when I was so locked in. I was trying to beat her. So I definitely didn't know that it was 0.1 million chance of happening. Crazy. But whatever, man. It was crazy though. I just remember us kept going and going and going, and I'm like, dang, we didn't win about 10 times. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was not. By the way, how does that even come to be? Like, are you just walking through the tunnel and little girl yells?
Now, like the fans now, they always try to, create some type of content or something. It's a different era now. I know at first people was really just locked in on, the game and locked in on getting their item signed or whatever it is. Now people might bring all type of stuff. I just signed a microwave somebody done brought to the game one time, all types. Yeah. Swear somebody brought a Bucks microwave to the game one time, bro.
That's
Like,
shocking.
yeah,
That's
like
a
these.
thing?
Yeah. These fans
Bobby
different
right
now,
though. It is
man.
a different time. Everybody want a moment instead of like an autograph or something. Everybody wants their own personal clip or content moment. He's right
That's
about that.
Yeah,
So do you
for real,
use
for
the
real.
microwave
she
after
got
it's
one.
signed?
I don't know what they did with it. He said that he had like a basement full of like Bucks memorabilia and stuff. So
Hold up, I
people
can't
bring
bring my
like
own
different
bottle of
stuff.
water in, but you can bring a microwave? How make that make
He had a
sense?
whole microwave for real, a whole
Okay.
microwave with a Bucks logo on
Things you learn on a Monday.
it.
That's
crazy.
unreal. Bobby,
is.
let's get to basketball a little bit. You guys are currently 4 games behind that 10 spot, right? That's obviously a
Yeah.
lot of ground to make up, but what are the vibes in that locker room right now? Are you guys still confident you can make one last push and kind of get in there?
Yeah, 19 games left. I'm always be super optimistic just because I'm a winner. I compete. I go out there to win the game. A lot of ground to make up, like you said. Obviously, the teams that's ahead of us, the Miami Heat, the Charlotte Hornets, the Atlanta Hawks, all those teams have been winning too as well. So not making our road, too much easier than what it is, man. We just got to stay together, keep fighting, keep having fun. I think that's the biggest thing. So much going on all year long that, sometimes you forget that, you in the league, bro. You got to go out there and, have fun and, still play the game the right way. So I just try to keep
Yeah.
that mindset on a daily basis, man.
Yeah, and obviously you want to be optimistic. And during that nice stretch you guys had last month, you said it was kind of fool's gold. And
Yeah.
obviously now, what did you see something that led you to believe that or think that? Because like you turns out you were kind of right.
Yeah, man. Just with being on championship teams and having that, after the All-Star break, you want to super lock in on all the games that you really need to win, especially if you have a stretch of games coming up that you might be playing some top 4 teams in your conference or top 4 teams in the next conference, So, obviously to start February, we were hot, right? We were playing against teams that was low key trying to lose though, and
Yeah.
playing against teams that was in the bottom 4 and with guys out and things like that. And obviously, it's always good to win, but when we played against the teams that was not trying to lose and that was jockeying for position, being in that position before, knowing what it takes, knowing the moment in itself, teams rise to that level of not wanting to lose against a team that they should win against, and knowing that it's circling on their schedule to win all the games you know that's meaningful games that they should win. So we got caught in that stretch, and obviously it was good to go on an 8 out of 10. But being on the other side of it, knowing the whole trajectory of what it is, it was definitely kind of disheartening right now for sure. Wanting to make the playoffs, wanting to be not go home in a, April situation. Obviously we gotta, rise to the occasion now, but it is super, super disheartening for sure.
Yeah,
no doubt.
walk me through this, Bobby, because you guys you've lost 3 out of 4 since Giannis has been back in the lineup with you guys, and like you said, it's been a roller coaster, and y'all trying to find
Yeah.
something consistent that y'all can work with. Why do you think it hasn't worked out since he's been back in the lineup, or is there still time to figure this out?
I would just say just, chemistry and camaraderie. Obviously some of our guys on our team really haven't had a, extended play to play with big fella, to play with 3-4. Obviously, he has had about 3 or 4 injuries this year. that kind of stopped him from, keeping a good rhythm. Obviously, basketball is a rhythm game. Like, what I'm saying? Y'all guys know, like, once you get in a good rhythm and, once you have an injury, you have to come back and, the team might be playing good, or you have to, obviously with a player like Giannis, he's going to be who he is. So guys around him have to figure out, have to play around him, have to play off him and things like that. And we just haven't had that, just haven't had enough time to, make that happen.
Got you.
Speaking of Giannis, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, no doubt about it, 1 meaning it's a possibility he's gone. How confident are you that Giannis will be in the Bucks uniform next year?
10 is what?
10 is no doubt in your mind.
You wanted to make sure you get them numbers right, Bobby.
Yeah. I'm at a 5, bro. I'm right there in the middle,
good
man.
answer.
I'm 6'7". You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's 6'7", bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what it is. Like, for real, it's up in the air, man. Obviously just being here and obviously our goal just isn't to make the play-in, right? The goal isn't to just make the playoffs. Like, since I've been here since 2020 during the pandemic, the goal has always been championship. So I don't know what that outlook is for next year. I don't know, what John and, his staff is gonna, put together to, make the roster better, make us better, so we can, compete for championships next year. I don't know that. But, if you ask me that question, I would say it's right there in the middle. Obviously, when the season's over, if you're a basketball fan and you know what's going to go on, since I've been here since 2020, like I said, each and every summer, once our team is eliminated or whatever, the conversation is going to get brought up again, and it's going to be a super lingering thing all summer long, especially leading up into the draft. So I guess we'll have to see, man, but I think it's right there at that 5, 6, 7 mark. 6, 7.
Bobby, it's no secret, man. You first team all tough in the NBA. If you look around the league, I want to ask you about last month when y'all were playing the Knicks. It looked like Jalen Brunson wanted a little smoke until he realized he was dealing with you, and he said, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool."
I busted a U-turn.
What was going on right here?
On this possession right here, JB cool too. I call him Jughead. That's my nickname. For I call him Jughead. I played USA ball with him. So what's so funny is he ran up to me on this play because the play before that I had DHO'd and handed off to one of our guards, and I had screened him. Every time I know him, every time you screen him, he gonna do this little flopping stuff and fall down. And right as he did that, I kind of did like an emulation. I kind of like did it and fell down too right in front of him. And then he ran up to me, was like, he said something. It was super funny in the moment though, bro. But Jughead be hooping though, man. He always torch us every time we see him.
Yeah.
That is a good little piece of video. I have a video too. It's a dunk, however, and it's a dunk on you by Matas Buzelis.
Why are we showing this?
Because I want to know what goes through Bobby's head. That's all I want to know.
Hey, you know what's so crazy about this? I tried to get out the way, too. As soon as I seen him take that 1-2, I'm like, oh, I ain't got nothing to do with that, boy.
You was already on the runway, Bobby.
I was already on the run. I said, oh, boy, I can't get up there like that, boy. You tripping.
This kid does have bounce. His bounce is crazy.
Hey, boy, you tripping, boy. You tripping. Let me go get out your way, man. Let me go get out your way, bro. For real.
That's all I wanted, Chandler. Sheesh.
Doc Rivers responded to some retirement rumors. Do you think Doc will coach past the season?
Do you get paid? Do you get paid if you retire? Like, if you got one more year on your contract, do you get paid?
Nah, that ain't how that work.
That ain't how it work, man.
Get fired, though.
Nah, I don't think Doc walking away from that 15, 16 M's, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of bread to just walk away from. Say, you don't want it? Like, yo, you don't want it at all? Like, let's just be for real. That's a lot of bread, man. He making about 15, 16 a year. So, nah, man, I think that's cap, man. I think that's cap, man. I think he'll
make more money.
He'll be back. He'll be back next year, man. In my opinion, that's just my opinion, though. You know what I'm saying? We some real people in real life, man. You know what I'm saying? Who walking away from 15, 16 million. I don't know too many people. You feel me?
They gonna have to make Doc go before Doc go on his own.
Right.
They gonna make anybody go. Like I'm not
Anybody.
giving up 15, 16 just to say I don't want it. I don't get none of it. Nah, I got to get him.
Now, Bobby, it was also announced that he was just a finalist for the 2026 Hall of Fame. This is his second straight year as a finalist. Now, he's your coach. What would be your push? What would be your pitch to get him in that Hall of Fame?
Man, obviously, Doc Rivers, man, he's a, good coach in my opinion. Obviously, he pushes guys different at a different level each and every day. Obviously, sometimes, he can be super hard on certain guys, and certain guys might not, understand, what it takes to, take it to that next level or whatever it is. But, in my opinion, man, just, the person, the personality, what he's done, obviously in his past, won a chip. I don't know the criteria for coaches getting in or how many wins they need to have, but I think he top 10 in wins too. So, that's just, small sample size of what I feel like, they can help him get in, but I don't know the coaching criteria. I kind of know the players' criteria, but I don't know the coaching criteria. If you need wins, if you need chips, if you need, whatever it is to get in, I don't know what their criteria is.
Guess we're gonna find out.
Do you not?
I don't think anybody knows. It changes.
I think it changes. Depends on who's voting, how they feel about it, I guess. By the way, I know players probably love a good Bleacher Report rankings list, but Kyle Kuzma was named the 9th most overrated player in the league, which, again, you want to talk about criteria? I'm not 100% sure what it was. 9th most. I mean, why do you think this dude gets a bad rep?
Man, obviously, Kuz played in LA, and when he played in LA, you're kind of like magnified a lot more. Like you play on the Lakers, everybody on the Lakers got 1 million followers. Everybody on the Lakers got 800,000 followers. So it's a lot of people that follow them, a lot of traction, a lot that comes with it. And obviously, sometimes my boy Kuz might have a bonehead play or something that might go viral, but to me, in my opinion, he sacrificed a lot this year for real. Making 24, 25 million. He did everything that the coaching staff wanted him to do. His defense has been, super good this year, guarding guys, taking on matchups. He slowed down a lot this year, not really, playing the way he played in previous years. So, I don't really agree with the 9th most overrated because, he sacrificed so much this year, and I seen growth in Cruz this year. So I don't agree.
Yeah.
Good. You want to give us your top 10? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I can't even agree with a lot of 10 players right now. I can't even think of 10. Can y'all think of 10?
You know what's
like
crazy,
that off
Bobby?
your head?
We got in an argument about it because as obviously Chandler and Lou were coming at it from a player's perspective, and I was sort of just like the fan that sits at a bar and argues sports. And it was a very interesting, there were a lot of guys on there that were injury prone, stuff like that, which when you're a fan, you're just like overrated. I never get to see him play. As a player, you're like, that's absolutely not accurate.
The list was so bad. Like D'Angelo Russell was on the list. I'm like, he doesn't even play anymore. How is he overrated? Like it was ridiculous.
So it was a weird list. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sometimes, man,
Bobby?
like sometimes I want to know like who comes up with these lists, who comes up with these like
a lot of people that look like me and
articles
dudes
and things. Like put a name on it sometimes. Y'all need to start putting a name on this stuff, man. For real.
You know
Put
what,
an
Bobby?
address on it.
It's usually names on it. We just never pay attention. Usually it's like written by.
Yeah, y'all don't know.
I like, but like it'd be like real little at the bottom.
We just don't pay attention. It's out there.
They put it real little at the bottom though, man. Like real little small at the bottom though. Like
yeah, it's just it's a bunch of me's. I'll take the blame for that one. Bobby, love having you on. We will talk soon, sir.
Hey, next time y'all have me on, we gotta talk about me and Boogie going at it when I was like 15 years old at camp.
Hell
Come
yeah.
back on
We gotta bring
tomorrow.
that up,
Okay,
man.
then come back sooner than later.
I was like
you.
15 years old, man. I was like, damn, that's Boogie Cousins, man. I gotta make my part. I was like 15. Remember that,
right.
Boogie?
I
Booking you
absolutely do, bro.
soon.
You've been a monster since a kid, bro.
That's it. I was like 15, bro. That was dope. I just thought about that. It just popped up in my head right now. I swear.
We're going to track down footage. All right, we'll have you guys next time then. We'll talk only about that. We'll be right back.
Come on.
Bobby.
Knicks out here in Los Angeles taking on the Lakers for a little afternoon game yesterday. It's like they weren't even there. 110-97 win for Los Angeles. No LeBron. Luka Doncic finishes with 35, 8 and 4. Austin Reeves has 25 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Cat finishes with 25, but there's LeBron. His foot did not respond to pregame treatment for the arthritis in his foot. So it's just weird to say. Here we go, Boogie. Look, they're 10 and 4. When LeBron was still recovering, right? So they've got a good winning record when he's not there. They've also won their last 2 games when he has not played. Lakers fans, because they're already sort of saying goodbye to him right now, are basically, they're better without him. This almost feels like the Tatum Brown argument, but I can't argue with the numbers that are on the screen. So what do you say when I say the Lakers are better without LeBron?
I don't agree. We're talking about LeBron James. We're talking about an all-time great. I don't like this, this narrative that's being pushed about, LeBron James. Obviously this is a team that's, ready to move on and focus on their future, which is totally fine. But the way they continue to try to devalue LeBron and what might be his last year with the Lakers, I just don't like it. The guy deserves more respect. I don't think, regardless if LeBron is on the floor or off, that they're a championship contending team. They have a lot of holes that need to be filled with this team. I just don't like this narrative that's continuing to be pushed as far as trying to devalue LeBron James. I think he brings value to any team he's a part of. He's shown that throughout his entire career. Obviously, he's a lot older. He's basically an old man. He's dealing with arthritis in his foot. That's some old man shit, which is, okay. But at the end of the day, huh?
That's why I was smiling. I was making sure I heard that right. I see.
That's definitely some old man shit. But the guy deserves a lot more.
You don't usually see
respect.
arthritis on the injury report.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know why y'all
cool.
are laughing. It's coming for you too, you three. So you better start laughing. Stop laughing right now.
You know what?
It is coming.
That's fine.
Was that kind of triggering, B?
For a basketball player that's in the league right now.
But at the end of the day, man.
By the way, it was weird for me to say it. So if it makes sense.
At the end of the day, this is LeBron James. He deserves a lot more respect. This is a league legend. He brought the Lakers a championship. He deserves more respect. So, like I said, I don't like the way they continue to try to devalue him. It's okay that y'all want to move on. I think he's okay with moving on. Obviously, this partnership has come to an end, which is okay. I just don't like that part of it. He deserves more respect.
Yeah, and listen, look how productive this guy has been when he's on the floor. And again, this team has holes. This team has a lot of issues, and they have nothing to do with LeBron James. I think it's how this team is constructed. They're not a championship team. And as good as Luka is offensively, and Austin Reeves had an unbelievable year, any team with LeBron James' versatility and playmaking and that point forward role that he can just play in and make the game easier for everybody else is going to be a benefit and is going to be a good thing for that team. So the fact that we can argue these numbers and the numbers don't lie, and again, that's kind of a small sample size, but not really. So they have had success without him. I can't sit here and say they are a better basketball team without one of the greatest players who's still playing at such a high level. I can't agree with. I really can't. And again, I love seeing him in that kind of Team USA point forward type role where he might not have to be the guy. He might not have to go and be an offensive pig and take 20, 25 shots on any given night. That's not his game now. But I don't like the idea that this is just they're worse with him, because that just doesn't make sense. It's not what my eyes tell me. That's not what my brain tells me.
It does. It sounds weird to say out loud. I will admit. Guys, we have to take a quick break. We'll have more Run It Back on the other side.
Run it up, then run it back.
We didn't have a show on Friday, so we didn't get to discuss Trae Young making his debut for the Wizards Thursday. A 12 points, 6 assists, 19 minutes. The Wizards went on to lose. He also had 17 points, 8 assists against the Pelicans, also a loss. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. He's doing what he needs to do. Teams losing when they need to lose. Lou, final 2 years you play with Trae Young. How do you think this fit will work out?
I think it's going to work just fine. By next year, they have other pieces. They have other guys in the lineup. Last night, as his debut, it looked like he was playing too well, too fast. We had to get him up out of there. So, it looked like he was doing too much, too fast. They said, hold on, come on, sit over here. Come on, sit over here. But listen, I am optimistic about this new start for Trae Young. You know, we're going to see what AD does for them. I'm sure in free agency, they're going to put pieces around them to make them a team to be taken serious in years to come. That's what you bring them there for. That's what you bring top talent there for. You want to get back in the conversation of being a competitive team in the East. And so, you know, obviously they're showing you what their trajectory is for the remainder of this season. They're trying to put themselves in the best position possible to get a good draft pick, and that'd be another asset that they can put around Trae Young. But I look forward to what they bring to the future in next year.
Yeah. Beadle, you made a joke, but you're totally not joking. Like this is the best case. This is the best case scenario. They got their guy. He's healthy enough to play. He's healthy enough to be really good still. And we know what Trae Young can do, right? If he plays 20, 25 minutes, he is the type of player that he is going to have the ball in his hands. He is going to produce. And I think with this new roster, with the excitement, the talent, the bigs that he's going to have, I think it's going to be a perfect fit for Trae Young, where he doesn't necessarily have to go and be the best player on the floor every single night. And he can still have those nights where he goes and erupts and has those 45, 50-point games. And no doubt he's got that still left in his tank, and he's got the talent and the offensive capability to do that. But this is the best case scenario. He's healthy. He's back. He could play a lot more minutes, and they're continuing to lose to get a top draft pick and a really, really, really good draft. And now college basketball is around the corner. I'm watching more of these kids play. They're going to get a really good player. And again, so that's just adding to that roster that they already have with the healthy Trae Young, with hopefully a healthy Anthony Davis. The Wizards are on to something, which don't think I've ever said in my life.
That is great. By the way, I want to get to this Paul Pierce quote real quick. Or it's not even a quote. He believes that the Wizards will be better than the Pacers next year, Boogie. He also said that AD's better than any player on the Pacers, and that Trae Young is as good as Halliburton. Go, Boogie, go. Or is it just
I don't understand why that comparison even came up. I mean, these are two teams at the bottom. I think the Wizards should be more focused on just, you know, righting the ship, putting the correct pieces around Trae Young, Anthony Davis. I think Washington is the perfect city for an exciting guard like Trae Young. They have a history of celebrating guards that are exciting. The John Walls, the Gilbert Arenas. So I think he's in a great market. I think it's a match made in heaven. And I do think the Wizards will be a good team next year. As far as comparing them to the Pacers,
yeah,
it doesn't even matter because they both suck this year. So yeah, I think they'll both improve. But yeah, it's other guys at the top that they should be worried about besides the Pacers. So yeah.
I think the idea is that the Pacers are going to be back next year with Halliburton and this team that just went to the finals.
We think the Wizards are back. Good. So, but both should focus on just getting healthy.
They are. This is all Paul Pierce. This is Paul Pierce just doing Paul Pierce stuff. I'd like to take the last 30 seconds of today's show to let everyone know in San Antonio, I'm being held hostage, okay? I know what the Spurs did. I know that they've won 4 in a row. I know they dismantled Detroit on Thursday and went on to win the next 2 over the weekend. They are 15-1 in their last 16. I just want to make sure that got in there because I feel like I'm not a part of this show right now.
They looked great last night, too, Bees. They just...
Way to take the floor, rep your team.
Spurs are legit.
Hell of a schedule they have this week. This is going to be a tough test.
Race for Sace.
Yeah, yeah.